All right. This book, it's a book review. In Praise of Wasting Time. It's a 100-page book. It's by Alan Lightman here. And I only checked this book out from the library after reading it in the library. And it's about wasting time, sort of. Let me read the table of contents here. Chapter 1 is called The Village in Cambodia. Chapter 2 is called The Grid. Chapter 3 is The Rush and the Heave. Chapter 4 is called Play. Chapter 5 is The Free Grazing Mind. Chapter 6 is Downtime and Replenishment. Chapter 7 is Chronos and Kairos. Chapter 8 is Half Mind. So, The Village in Cambodia, we'll start there. It talks about a village in Cambodia where they don't use clocks. They are so loose with their concept of time that, let me see, it says on the first page here. I swear I read the book. No electricity, no running water, dangling light bulbs in the huts are powered by car batteries. Food is cooked over open fires. There's no clocks, basically. It's life in this village in Cambodia is so it's they don't have modern technology basically, but it also they don't have appointments to get to. They don't have to clock in at work. They don't have to go for a run at 6 a.m. tomorrow like us Americans do. That's how the book starts. And then chapter 2 is called The Grid. He talks about cell phones and the internet and how this grid, right? This, I think of it as like a society within a society, right? We're playing by rules, and then there's a subset of rules that we're also kind of all playing by, which is kind of the grid. Like, nothing necessarily goes unnoticed nowadays because we're so bound by time in our society. And also just we always have, some kind of attention on us in the society we live in. People, myself, I'll speak from my perspective. I love to romanticize like the 80s, 70s, and 80s before cell phones, before the internet, because there was just like you could walk out your house as a child and tear up the town, and our sources were so different. You'd hear from the barber that there's 2 boys running around town, you better go stop them. Instead of, like sharing locations or algorithms that track your thinking. Anyway, this video is not an attempt to make you paranoid. It's really not. But it's about wasting time, the book. It's in praise of wasting time, which to me sounds a bit like in praise of wasting time. Like in praise of wasting time would be like a book review. A positive book review could be called in praise of wasting time. But like I said, I read this in the library. It's got some pictures in it. I just small book. That's why I picked it up, right? I was pretty skeptical that it would be a good book. I read the first couple of chapters and it was kind of the way I think, like, don't like the cell phones so much. But one of the things I think about is like the interconnectedness of everything a lot. But something I wasn't thinking about is our concept of time. And he kind of says in here, how often do you check the clock? You know, like people that keep looking at the clock, like it's important that I'm here by this time, and then you're on to the next thing here by this time, instead of being in the present moment, right? In the present moment, because it's so important. But it's a different take on present moment. It's more like absence of the grid, which is time and attention from society, the subset of society. I was at work today, and I started my day off, you know, I was on time clocking in, but I was playing time loosely, you know. It wasn't like I usually, when I go about my day, it's like push the card out. There's just a way that things are organized. There's a way that things are organized, and it's based off of time and like our relationship with time. This book's called In Praise of Wasting Time because he talks about all the ways when he was a kid he used to stare at the ceiling and think about his life, not necessarily because he wanted to or because like he set time aside to think about his life, but it was more just like so free, right? He was about just exploring the world with his mind, with his faculties, and it wasn't useful time in the way that we've come to know useful time, which is like we're so efficient with the way we use our time. Like I am probably not alone in this, but we're so good at assigning our time to certain things, tasks, people, activities, and we've gotten so far away from like, I wasted an afternoon, but you didn't waste it, right? There's plenty of things like play or some of the things described in here that you can do that kind of like could be considered wasting time because it's not profitable or whatever. I feel like I'm getting a little far away from the book. He talks about downtime and replenishment, the free grazing mind, which I talked about a little bit. You stare at the ceiling and let his mind wander. Chronos and Kairos it's a Greek words for time, two different words for time. One is, I think chronos is time that you are working or you're applying you're working basically, and kairos is time you're not working, free time basically. Half mind is the last chapter in here. I must have missed it a little bit because I don't really remember. Yeah, I think it's about stepping away. Like he talks about companies that have built in like rest periods, no screen time, but they shut down their work for a few minutes every so often, and they let their minds rest, or they take a break basically. I really like the way it was written. Alan Lightman is a physicist, novelist, and essayist. I'm gonna link his TED Talk. This is a TED book, It's TED right there. I'm going to link his TED Talk in the description. I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't, earlier in the video, I said I wasn't a huge fan. It took me a while to get into the book. And the writing, I thought, you know, it was kind of like, I wasn't a huge fan of his writing style at first, but after reading this book and seeing a TED Talk about him, I think he used to write poetry when he was a kid, he'll say in the TED Talk, but he dealt with math and language, math and art, and he really does meld the two so well in his writing style and in just his way of doing things. He talks a little bit about physics in here, about his experiments, and you can read the book. It's In Praise of Wasting Time. I would read it again. Like I said, I read it at the library, but I wanna buy one of his other books. Like, he's got one called Einstein's Dreams, and I think he's come out with a couple other ones since this one and the TED Talk. But this is a good one if you I will say it simplifies your life a little bit. It gets you more focused on the present moment, not in a way that's outside your mind, but yes, in a way that is outside of time. It's a little bit like it changes your relationship with time. It makes you think about time in a different way. It's like, what is wasting time? It's a well-written book. It's a good book. Yeah, so that's a book review. I would read it again, probably read it again. And it's well written. So if you don't like books, though, that's fine. You know, a lot of people have trouble reading, and maybe you could just waste your time instead and not read, right? And just whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you stuck all the way till the end, for some reason I was entertaining or whatever. And I will talk to you later. If you want to give the video a like, that would be sweet, because I think it helps more people see it, or whatever. I don't know how that works, but I think it helps more people see it. And if you comment, or if you want to subscribe, that'd be cool. If you want to see more book reviews, I do music too. Okay, see you later.